her beautiful hair, her skin was grey, wrinkled and sagging and grey, and where her eyes should have been lay rotting black pits. Her lips were withered, nothing but deep dark lines, full of jagged stumps of teeth. And I'm like, this is terrifying. And now she's there and she can't get out.
Lady. But
Why is this thing not in prison?
But also, what happened to that Weaver? Maybe she's gone through trauma.
She might have gone through trauma. I don't know.
She did say in the song that her sister tried to drown her.
Is she the person?
Maybe that's what's left of her. She was drowned by her sister. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
I was on edge on this chapter. I was like, oh my god, just hurry up.
I was... Immediately, I was thinking, resend your dick. You're a total dick right now.
Yeah.
Literary labyrinth, labyrinth, literary labyrinth, labyrinth, literary labyrinth, labyrinth, literary labyrinth, labyrinth.
Hello and welcome to the Literary Labyrinth Podcast.
Hey.
How are you? Hey!
This is part 2 for our Court of Mist of Fury. So we're looking at chapters 14 to 24 today and dissecting what actually is going on.
This is true. And we are two sisters, one who reads fast.
And one that reads slow. So this has been quite a challenge for me to keep up. But
how are you feeling?
I've done it. Yeah, I have.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I think this has been a little bit easier than the last one because there's been so many. Actually, this bit where we're going to talk about now, 14 to 24, there's so many new characters been introduced. So it's kind of been piqued my interest.
I love it. I think once you get into the flow of reading, you just need to get into the flow, and then you're like, I'm there. I'm doing this. But I do realize managing to do it with your kids around is probably quite hard, but there you are.
I have stayed up until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock some nights going, hi, I'm still awake. I just need to get this chapter done. And I'm like, oh God, I'm suffering in the morning. So I just need to calm it.
Well, before we kickstart this episode, we're just going to go through a couple of tidbits. We are the Literary Labyrinth. We started this new podcast in the new year. We first read A Court of Thorn and Roses, and we are now on to our second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. And this is the second part in this particular book. If you want to check us out and you want to follow us, or you have are already following us, thank you so freaking much. It means the world. Yeah. And if you haven't been following us, then please do check us out. You can click on the link in the bio, whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to us on wherever you get your podcast from. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, we have a Fable book club going on, so please check that out. The link is in the bio. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling so we can actually talk about this book, which is exactly why we're all here. So without further ado, Linda, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, so last episode we were talking about her coming back to the Spring Court with Tam Tam, and he wasn't very nice to her. And so now she's gone.
Tam Tam.
And she's in the Night Court, a rival court. But
we have to be specific. She's in Valaris, which is a part of the Night Court.
At the end of the last few chapters, she got taken to the Night Court, but she didn't want to be left alone. She didn't want to be shut out like last time with Tamlin. And
Tamlin's a douche.
Yeah, she wanted to be taken along on this adventure, and he said, well, then you can't tell anybody about it. And that's how she got to Valaris, the city of stars or something.
The city of mystery. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Aladdin.
I know. Sorry. Wrong thing. Yes, so they're in Valaris, which is really nice because he said, come with me, but as long as you don't tell anybody, you can't bring this back. And she's like, 100%, I'm okay. I mean, after the whole debacle with Tamlin, making her a prisoner, essentially, and giving her anxiety to the max.
Exactly.
Screw that guy.
Not telling
so this
anything.
Was a nice thing. Yeah, Rhysand is sounding like a stand-up guy right now.
Yep. So she said that she gets there and she's inside like a little townhouse. It's not a big castle. It's more of a home. So it's quite cozy in there. So I'm trying to find out, really finding it hard. I know it's a fantasy book. Right. But I'm trying to figure out what is the times frame. We've gone from mystical castles from the 1700s to now I feel like we're in the 1930s or like 1800s in New York. I know it's a fantasy novel, this isn't it, but I'm just getting really confused.
Okay, I imagine that Valaris is a lot like, it's still medieval, but with elements of, I wouldn't say futuristic stuff, it's very much the fantasy. I would say Valaris is close to a really kind of modern Rivendell, from Lord of the Rings.
I would not say that at all.
You wouldn't?
No, I think it's going to be like more like a nice Gangs of New York.
Yeah, no, that is not it. No. There's nothing nice about nice Gangs of New York.
That time period. But I mean, I haven't read all of it yet. Maybe so. I'm thinking.
I mean, hey, you know what? The point of it is the reader comes up with what it is in your head.
Yeah.
So if that's the vibe you're getting, go with it.
I apologize to everybody here. I have a cold, so if you see me like, sorry about that.
Like, ew, it's gross. It's all
So-
right. Here, have some Iron Brew. There you go.
I've actually got some Lucozade because I'm a 90s
that's good.
baby, and I was like, I always feel 90s. I always feel like Lucozade could like fix me because that's what I got when I was sick. But I understand it's not true. It was a lie.
It's placebo. Yeah, but
let
so
me
were
just-
carrots giving you better eyesight, so screw that.
Is that not true?
No.
No. Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Did you not? I am living proof, my friends. Seriously. I eat so many carrots and I'm wearing the highest strength contact lenses, honestly.
I didn't know that.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Lies, they tell you.
What?
Anyway, so yes, Rhysand and Feyre have arrived at the townhouse
Yes.
in Valaris.
And she's like, why is the city not destroyed in ruins? And he said, it's because I hid it to her for 500 years. And she's pissed.
Amarantha.
She's pissed off.
I don't think that she should be pissed off. I mean, what's your thoughts?
It's not her city. I know, I know she can't, it doesn't particularly say, I know we've got to talk about it a bit more, but she is a bit more angry that people suffered. They could have been given shelter. Why didn't he offer that? She doesn't know the full story about it. So she's just, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's understandable. So, I mean, chapter 14 is a pretty quick chapter. We just understand. She gets a little bit of intel about that. And I think, she asks Nuella and Ceridwen.
Oh, yeah, they come along to the
Sorry.
townhouse
And
too.
they're like, it is not our story to tell. So,
Oh, yeah.
okay, another miscommunication. No, that's fine. It's not as bad as Tam Tam. But yes. But then she's like, as she drifts to sleep, she says, perhaps it will be a fitting punishment if I never go back to Tamlin. So here we go. We think she ain't ever going back. She ain't going back.
She just doesn't want to, she was just like, I'll sort it out tomorrow. Maybe the week after. Maybe never. And you're like, right,
That's
okay,
the
you have to face it
She
at some
ain't-
point.
She ain't dealing with her problems emotionally or physically for that matter. So hopefully, yes, it should change.
Yeah. So Rhys takes her. This is where she gets a bit angrier, is that Rhys takes her for a little walk around Valaris, see the tea shops, see the
Yes.
different market squares and the jewelry shops.
Yeah, it looks lovely.
It does. It seems like Bruges. See, Bruges. but not in Bruges,
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
but
get
it
what I
could be
mean.
like but Bruges is a medieval town. But Bruges is medieval, you see. The medieval vibes coming in.
It's like Bruges, but not the movie In Bruges, if you get
It's
what I
a
mean.
fucking fairy tale. Yeah.
It is
if
a
you've
fairy
ever
tale.
In Bruges is such a good movie. Alas, let's concentrate back on
Okay.
this.
But anyway, so he takes her to the artist's quarter. Sort of like, I got the Psycho theme music coming up, which is like, she's like, I'm having PTSD again. Goodbye.
She has lost the urge to paint.
And she's like, I can't go down there. I want to go
She's
home. My legs
mourning
are
it.
tired. I'm unfit. I haven't walked. I haven't used my limbs for so long.
Yeah. She feeling weak in both manner of ways. So yeah, I feel for her at this point.
But she's mad. She's mad that Rhysand didn't offer his city as a shelter and made everybody else
Yeah.
suffer in the mountains.
And she also has a moment in this chapter where she's just like, maybe I wouldn't mind dying. So we know she's at the peak of her depression.
Oh, yeah. And he does pick up
And-
on that. Luckily, he has that whole psychic bond thing with her. So he's like, don't ever say that. So luckily, he knows where she is.
He feels like he has a very good handle on helping people with mental health problems. So Rhys-San
Yeah.
looks like he's a good egg. He can pick up on.
Yeah, but I kind of want to know what happened to him when he was younger that he's had
Yeah.
to cope with all this mental
Yeah.
health. I know that he was like Amarantha's whore for 50
I
years.
mean, that's enough to deal
Yeah.
with.
But there seems like there's something else as well. Family issues down there, the line there. So I guess we'll find that out too.
There's always a backstory for sure.
So when they get home, they find he's taking her to dinner at the House of Wind, which is his other house
right.
on top of a mountain. But the only way you can get there is to fly or take 1 billion steps.
But do we think that anybody takes those steps?
Yes, I feel like if you were a salesman, you would take those steps.
A salesman! I'm going to tell you, that salesman's dead before he reaches the top. I think as a super high lord fae with superpowers, you might do it as like a training exercise. So yes, fair enough. But other than that, no one's taken those stairs.
I bet they do.
I mean, look,
I bet somewhere in the next couple of stories, someone's going to climb those stairs.
I would like to see that. I really would, but I doubt that's going to happen. Or if they do, it's going to be him and his like inner circle of fae guys who are like buff and yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, speaking of the inner
Yes.
circle, this is who they're having dinner with on top of this mountain.
Exactly. We get
And
introduced to some peeps.
he's given her a work prospect because he knows about her mental health is deteriorating. He's given her something to focus on and say,
Yeah.
help me defeat the King of Highburn, which we did touch off in the last episode.
That's right.
That the King of Highburn is going to invade. And
Tamlin didn't want to hear anything about it.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, work for me, but this is your interview with our inner circle. So she's off there, flying up in the air with
House of
Rhys-San
Wind.
Yeah. So they go to
What's the thing about how his hold on, I can't say it. I'm really sorry.
Illyrian.
Illyrian?
Illyrian. I'm going to take the Scots version of this and say Illyrian.
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 My mom's from Illyrian.
My mum was half Illyrian.
She's an Illyrian seamstress.
Yeah.
And she was about to have her wings clipped. But
Yeah.
when his High Lord father recognised her as his mate, he was like, whoa, better stop doing that. She's going to marry her. What dick? I was going to clip your wings for your insolence, but
That was awful.
no, you're my mate. It's fine. How? Anyway, so there's your first bit of Rhys-San's trauma right there.
He wasn't even born then.
No, but I mean, he knows the story, so, you know. Anyway, so like you said, they go to the House of Wind for her interview, and she is met by Rhys-San's inner circle, and there we meet Cassian and Asriel.
Yeah. Cassie and Asriel, who she said they were classically beautiful, but near unreadable. He'd be the one to look out for. The knife of the dark. That's Asriel. To me,
Yeah.
they all look like dark-haired, big guys with jewels in their armor. So with big, massive wings.
And just buff as hell.
Yeah,
Buff,
that's it.
handsome men. Just smoking hot guys, basically. That's what we're talking here.
So
Very powerful. And they're in their, like you say, their traditional regiments. But there seems to be a big difference between Illyrian and
High Fae.
Philaris Night Court. Like, it seems that seems like two different things.
Right,
Which
okay.
I guess we're gonna get into. But it seems like that's two different things.
Yeah. So Asriel is his spy master, which I was I don't really know. I guess we'll get into that more often, but he's like covered in shadows most of the time, or shadows float around him. He just seems a bit sad, and she always says he's got burns
He's a
on his
shadow
hands.
daddy.
He's got burns on his hands. He's had a traumatic something. And then Cassian is Elise's armies. So these are like the ones in charge until we meet the Ledas.
He's almost like, I imagine Cassian to be more of like a brute, like a big kind of brute, where Asriel's a little bit more composed, a bit more sly. You're not sure what he's thinking. You know, he's like the Twilight, the Volturi. No, I'm just kidding. He's not as ugly as they are in the movie. They're supposed to be pretty. But anyway.
He's buff but mysterious. He's mysterious. But we see more again. and she's all like, "Hey, nice to see you.
That's right. Yes, Mort is in this. I
Let's
like
hang
Mort.
out.
She's giving me good vibes.
Yeah, let's hang out. Let's be best friends and have dinner together." And then we also meet Amran. Amran, I'm gonna say. What are you gonna
I
say?
say Amaran. I say Amaran. Yeah,
Okay.
Amaran is right. Yeah. Someone to talk to, because they're making this plan, aren't they, about the Boner Carver in prison.
Well, before we get to that, when she says her description of Amran was every instinct was roaring to run, to hide of Amran.
Yeah,
and that she
she
had
sounds like a god.
unworldly.
Yeah.
They said her silver eyes were unlike anything I'd ever seen. And I knew in my bones she wasn't high fae or hadn't been born that way. The silver in Amran's eyes seemed to swirl like smoke under glass.
The idea I get for Amaran is that she is otherworldly, almost
Not of this
godlike.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't don't cross her, because she will like
Mm.
literally kill you with a stare or something like that.
But nonetheless, my intrigue is there. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, but she said as well, we are born something else and found ourselves trapped in a new strange body. And that's how she connects with Feyre. So she's like, yeah, I see what you're doing.
That's
I'm trapped in
right.
this body too. Well, not trapped, but turned into a high fae from something else. We don't
So
know what
she
that
used
is.
to be something.
What is
Yeah.
that something else?
Yes, I love it. I love the intrigue for sure. It is really good. I do love some of the banter they have on the table, because there's a moment where they're talking and I think Lucien's name comes up and then there's like a snort of laughter, like, what a miserable place to be. Yeah.
Blessed. Like, I like Lucian, but he's getting a bit limp in this book. I just hope he gets back his like first book kind of characteristics. But also they have these like on the guys, they've got some like jewels on them, red jewels and blue jewels, and they're called siphons. Let's hopefully I've said
That's
this.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they allow for magic to be nimble, precise in the battlefield, because apparently it's just messy. Illyrian's magic is just messy and they just blow everything up like,
Yeah, apparently it's super powerful, but it can be a bit chaotic.
Yeah, not
So
precise.
calling them siphons is essentially a way for them to siphon their power in a more direct way. So I guess instead of using an Uzi, you're using like a sniper gun. I'm assuming like. So
I
a
know.
conversation happens when they're at the table, doesn't it? And he says we find out that they're what do you call them? What's the Scottish
Illyrians.
one?
Illyrians.
Let's just call them then that. So,
Illyrians.
yes. So Rhysand's eventually High Lord. He's pointed 2 females, which she never really saw, and then 2 Illyrian bastards. So we know that
Oh yes.
they're obviously not of noble birth, right? And his inner circle. So he's already different. So it's probably
Awesome.
another reason why Tamlin and the other people don't like him in society. And then Rhysand explains about the King of Hybern that we just were talking about, that they're trying to resurrect Durian, who we mentioned.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
the
last
guy in the
one.
ring.
Yeah, the guy who murdered Amarantha's
Sister.
sister, and she had the ring with his eye on it. The question is, where's that ring gone then?
Yeah, I didn't even think
If
about
they're
it
trying
when
to resurrect it.
she got her throat bitten out, and you were like,
She got mauled to death, and that's it.
She had the necklace as well with his finger. Or was it? Yeah, like his finger or something.
It was a ring on the eye. His eye was in a ring on her finger, so she would
Yeah.
point it out to everybody to be like, "Look, Tyrion, ha ha ha, he's
So he
still alive."
couldn't die. Yeah, he was alive.
Because she wanted him to be witnessing this for the rest of his life. I mean, she was cold. But so we find that piece of, and then Amaran suggests that someone should talk to somebody called the Boner Carver who's in prison, and
Oh yeah.
they might agree to talk if Feyre was the one to go with them, because she has a mortal soul.
Yeah, that's true. And
So-
she then after all these conversations, she's like, I accept your offer to work with you to earn my keep and help with Hibernian in whatever way I can. Yeah, this will help
She's
me.
pretty- I think I kind of understand it. Like, I'm not too bothered about how far-fetched it might come across. To me, it's very much, she needs to actively keep busy And she
Yeah.
also is doing that thing that we talked about where she's not dealing with her problems. So
No,
this is another
exactly.
thing to do to not deal with the other shit. And therefore, here we go.
I think that, yeah, Rhysand said, oh, that's good that you're going to get there. And she's like, right, okay, I've got something. And now she's off to talk to the Bone Collector. So I kind of, no, not the Bone Collector, the Bone Carver. Sorry. I just think of that 90s film, like, because...
Is that the Angelina Jolie one?
Yeah, like, so that's exactly what I thought when, like, sorry, if you guys don't know, it's a 90s film with Angelina Jolie where she's a detective and she has to, like, find a serial killer who just leaves bones. Like,
It's a good
so
movie, though.
yeah, it is, but I assume this is what the Bone Carver was like, so I was like, oh, it's the Bone Collector.
What I will say, and this is not a spoiler, it's not as fascinating. Okay? I'm sorry.
That's a shame.
I mean, it's intriguing, but it's not as fascinating as the Bone Collector movie because he is not the key character. Okay?
Okay, well, fine. Well, so he just likes bones, but
Yeah.
so she goes back and she's like, right, let's go. We'll go to this Bone Carver, and they they winnow out to the bottom of this massive giant hill.
Yes.
They have to walk in.
Yes, winnow is apparition in my head.
Apparition.
Yeah. Apparate, like Harry Potter style. Chapter 17 just has the name Durian. It's the first word.
So they get to the bottom of... They're going to this thing called the prison, which is, in my head, it's like that in the Highlands somewhere in this massive rocky mountain range. And
No, it's not the Highlands. The Highlands is beautiful. This sounds like it's the apocalyptic of hell. Like this, I tell you what it was like for me. Imagine Arkham Asylum, but remove the asylum and just make it one big giant rock formation, and inside it is the prison. That's how I saw it.
I thought it was more like that bit, you know, when Harry Potter goes with Dumbledore to get the potion. Like that's a Highlandsy bit in there, but it was just like, yeah, but they've got to climb to the top of that. It's not like nice. They're windswept.
Yeah, I hear you. But dark and gray and and not very pleasant.
And she gets there and then she can't move. And she said, why won't Amren go in here? And she said, because she was once a prisoner. So I'm a bit like, ooh, what kind of people do they hold in this prison?
And it sounds from what they're saying as well that this prison is real bad. Like real bad.
Real bad. And really like centuries old, like older than Perithian and all. Anyone that lives there.
Yeah, it's not good. Rhysand says that Amarantha wanted to kill and torture anyone who was close to him, to Rhysand. So this is why, a little bit more about why he was a bastard for her. Not a bastard, a whore, sorry. But he's shielded from becoming a whore for her. And there we go. And then Feyre has another nightmare about... She's still having these nightmares about Amarantha. Oh, of course she is. Horrible time.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, I know. People are like, get over it. No.
No, it was like... Was it like 4 months ago?
And she's not even in her own body. She's not even human. She's dealing with a new body, new powers, PTSD. Someone she loved tried to basically put her in a prison.
Yeah.
And completely shattered the trust.
And now she's got a whole load of new besties, and she's like, what the hell am I?
No, she doesn't trust any of these people. She doesn't know them. She's been introduced to a new world, and all she's doing is putting one foot in front of the other. And just going, okay, what's next?
Well,
I'm just not.
You say that, but she doesn't put the foot in front of the other, and she just stops outside the prison. And she's like,
but that's the body eventually says no. But look, just before they get to that prison as well, just to mention, when she's having the nightmares, she actually slashes all the bed linens and then creates a fire. Do you remember?
From the autumn court.
So she has the ability of fire as well.
Wow.
And then Rhysand's like, oh my god, wake up, girl, you're burning the place down. And then she vomits again. Poor Feyre, she's got a vomiting issue. It's just not going well for her. But then, like you said, we go to the prison, and Amren, we learn about. She used to be one there.
In the prison.
So,
yeah.
How
did she escape? I wanted that story.
Then, my thought is then she was in the prison as that thing, whoever, and then maybe she was put into a fae form, and that was the only way she could get out of the prison because she
Okay.
was. Because I wonder if there's a thing about ID recognition. Do you know what I mean? And if you're a different faith,
It's
it can
medieval.
sense. I know, but it's got magic.
Okay,
So,
fine,
you know,
magic.
that I don't know.
Magic.
This is my theory in my head. I'm not sure. Anyway, so like you say, she freezes and Rhysand's trying to say, come on, let's go.
And yeah,
He
she just
doesn't want to
doesn't go.
push her, but she can't. She's just, no. So then he takes her back to the townhouse, realizing it ain't happening today. She needs to go to sleep. And
Yeah,
that's that.
again, I didn't get out of bed for the rest of the day. And then
Do
she
you
wakes
blame
up.
her?
No, I can't. I know. If someone means like, oh, come on.
Right? You're like, bitch, get on with it. But then you're like, no,
but
I
the
get
thing is that
it.
I think let's get on with the story. I want to know. I want to meet this bone person. Come on, get on with it. And then I'm like, oh God, no, she has got PTSD. We have to be patient. But then I'm like, she's not a real person. She's not a real person. Come on, get
This
on
is
with
a
it.
fake. Yeah, but then the story is less, well, I'm saying believable, but I don't mean in that sense. I mean as character development. We need good character development. That's what we
Exactly.
need. Anyway, the next day, chapter 18, what happens?
Yeah. So Amaran wakes her up and says, you're going to the prison. Here, wear this. This got me out of the prison. Wear it. And they can never keep you. And it's one of these like massive lockets and stuff.
It's like an amulet of some sort.
Yeah. So she just throws it at her and says, also, I want it back once you're done.
Yeah.
So she's just like, no sympathy.
You know what? Well, that's the same. You got to put it out to people that borrow shit. You know, like borrow books, whatever. Hey, you can borrow it, but bitch, give it back. Okay. Great.
And he's
That's
like, she
essentially what
gave
she
you
said.
that? No. And she was just like, it must be serious then, the risk of. And then he says, oh, don't let Ellison say anything out loud because people can hear you from outside the prison. So I was like, oh my God, who's listening?
But also, maybe you could have told us that yesterday.
Yeah, we just started having a freak out.
No, just as in they were on the way. So lucky she did have a freak out. So we found this information out. Anyway, that's not to the point. So they go back round 2 to the prison, get there. She has the amulet. She's like, feels better and goes, okay, fine, let's do this. And they go into the bone gates. Well, they go into the prison and then they arrive at the bone gates, I guess.
Yeah. But while he's like taking his sword or something to open the bone gate, she learns about Asriel's story. Because she asks him what happened to his hands, like the scars on his hands. And we learned that Asriel was a illegitimate son to his father and his wife, but he took him on because he had the whole spy powers or something. But his 2 half brothers were really mean to him and like just kept like being like, and his stepmother would trap him downstairs with no light for ages. And I was like, this is awful. And then they decided to burn his hands. I can't remember. It was something to do with, he has a healing gift and they just did it with oil and fire.
It was torture. Yeah, they just kept burning his hands over and over again. So every time he kept healing, but then because they did it so much, they'd look like that.
Yeah. And then they said, when are your brothers punished? And he went, eventually. And I was like, oh,
Good
I kind of
for
want to hear
you.
this story. I want to hear this revenge.
Yeah, I bet you that will come up for sure.
Yeah. But I know that revenge story.
You're much more intrigued by the characters already, even at this point.
But
the characters aren't just whatever.
I think it identifies with Feyre as well, because she's like, I've been through like hell and I've got to the other side. How would I survive? And Rhysand's been like, well, Asriel has a horror story. I have a horror story. I'm guessing the others, I don't know what they are yet, but they're going to have horror stories. So they're like, welcome to us.
A lot of trauma.
Like the trauma gang.
A lot of trauma. Yeah. They're all trauma bonded. That's what this is.
Trauma bonded. That's the word. Yeah. But then she says, and Mor, what does she do for you? And he says, Mor is who I'll call when the armies fail and Cassie and Asriel are both dead. And I'm thinking like, what is Mor's superpower? What is Mor's superpower?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to just give her that level of clout to be, yep, Mor, it's on you now. We're all dead.
Mor seems like a really nice Regina George to me. And I'm like, oh, what does she actually do?
Maybe she's got a good heart, good intention that she would know how to handle the situation in the best form. But yeah, I do want to know what her powers are. That's to be fair.
So yeah, he opens the bone gate.
Yes, the bone gates open.
Yeah. And they just keep walking in the dark. They have like
She grips
little
the
orb of-
amulet.
Yes.
She's like,
They
and
walk
he's
down,
like,
keep deeper and
"Breathe,
deeper.
breathe, breathe, Feyre. Keep breathing."
And we kind of get glimpses about how long Amryn was in there, a few millennia, it seems. And I'm like, what? What is she? That the prison kind of houses monsters that walk between worlds and the terror of being trapped in another realm. And I'm like, what is actually in here? What are we going to see here?
There's mystery. Yeah, there's a thing where when it says there's no lights, there were no doors, or not even a trickle of water was happening.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just darkness, and the air starts getting like, thinner and thinner. They're going so deep.
Yeah, they keep going so deep in the cave. But their mission is to see the Boner Carver,
Who is in the deepest prison cell.
So that's going to tell you something. That guy must be super messed up. And the Boner Carver accepts Rhysand's gift of the bone that killed the Midgard worm.
Yeah, I was thinking, when did he pick that up? Like, what?
He's just got it in his back chest of drawers. He's just got some stuff.
He's like, I'm just going to go there, pick up that.
I got some
I'm
stuff.
just going to pull it out of him. Yep, I'm going to take that. Keep it as a trophy.
Yeah, he's just got it's like a little, glass cabinet just full of bones. Just
That was
when you
not
need them.
suspicious at all. Like, even if I was Amarantha, like, I'd be like, okay, keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I know. You'd be like, where'd this bone from? So, anyway, we just gloss over that, and he says, yes, I will have a meeting with you. And the Carver's request is that Feyre shares details of what happened when she died. So
Yes.
trauma re-entering the mind, including
you don't
how
get
her
no
soul
info.
went. Yes, but you do get new info. This is true. And it's how her soul went into Rhysand's mind. And he's like, what do you mean? A bit of her soul went into Rhysand's.
Yes,
like,
through the
'cause
bond.
she said she was seeing through his eyes her dying.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't know that. So he's now giving this sort of look of, huh? What?
What's going on? I can't react. There was a thread,
I
a
mustn't.
tether that could give me a scrap of spirit, and that kept me here.
That's right.
That's
And then the
interesting.
Boner Carver tells them that a bone can be resurrected into a new person only by using the cauldron. And
Where all
the
things were
book-
created.
Where all things are created. And the book of breathings or breathings. Breathings. Book of breathing. I'm going to say breathings. The book of breathings.
That doesn't sound right.
I know it doesn't. It's probably breathings.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll fix that next time. One half is kept at the summer court while the other half is kept by 6 mortal queens. Only a maid, being a made person, somebody that's been made, can
yes, but
speak
she
the
has.
spells in this book that he's talking about. So she is obviously a made person.
Like
because
Amaranth was made in, like, I don't know what she was, but she was made into a high fae. And she was
Right.
made into a high fae. So, okay.
So she probably can do it as well. So, but it's classic. Where's this? Where are all the parts? Well, one's in the summer court. The other one's between these 6 mortal queens. Did we even know we
Yeah.
had 6 mortal queens?
I
No,
didn't know,
but
like,
here we
it was
are.
mentioned in in her mortal lands. Nothing.
Nope, nobody knew about it. So
He's like, who
there we
has
go.
the cauldron? He's like, I think you know. King of Hybern.
It's like, damn it, why can't it be easy? But then he's like, what did you see? And because Rhysand has a moment with the Carver, and he says he saw Jurian. He appeared
Yeah.
exactly as Jurian looked the last time I saw him facing Amarantha when they fought to the death. And then
And she says
What
she
does that
saw like an 8-year-old boy with dark hair and really like blue eyes. That's creepy.
what does that mean?
Mm,
Is this
yeah.
a portent for the future?
Yeah, so you see the Boner Carver, like everybody sees the Boner Carver different, but nobody specifies like why you see them different. It's like, are these people going to kill you? Are these people like, I don't know, something bad. That's what makes me think, is it something that someone's going to kill them? This is the last person they'll see before they die or something.
Well, that's it. Or is it, because I was thinking it might be like a boggart, again quoting Harry Potter. Like, the thing you fear the most will appear in front of you. But it wasn't that, because she's not exactly scared of a boy with dark hair and blue eyes. So I
No,
don't know.
that's why it makes me think it might be the last thing they see or something
Before they die.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's a fair
happens.
suspicion. So we then move on. After they've met the Boner Carver, they make it back down to the townhouse where more Azriel and Cassian are waiting for them.
They tell all their friends the bad
They say,
news.
here's the tea. This is the 411 and what we got from the Boner Carver. He said this, and this is what we had to do. Blah 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 blah. Basically, cauldron book. We need to get it. This is where it is.
Put everything together.
Boom.
Right.
And they're like, oh, so super easy then, yeah? Great, fantastic.
So I think Rhysand sends a message to the summer court, and they're still debating about what to do about the queens. But one of the things we didn't address, actually, which was important, and I never actually
Oh my
addressed it,
God.
was she asked the carver, the bone carver, I've not said bone collector, about finding these things, and they said somebody who's made could be able to find things, like she would be able to find the book because it was also made. So when you have things that are made, that person can also find things. So Rhysand wants to test this out to see if it was really real. So he's going to take her to this person called the Weaver to figure out if she can find something of his and test
she's
his
like a
theory.
mystical metal detector, basically.
Yes. Basically, yeah, that's a better way of saying it. So
Yeah.
he's going to test how detective her metal is.
Yes, test the theory. Is the Bone Carver telling the truth or was he lying? And then at least we will know that she can detect the objects and be one that can read the book.
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. Very good point. We should have mentioned that.
Like, Cassian's like, don't take her to the Weaver. And I was like, oh, I thought like the Weaver was like some nice little man who lived in a mill. And he was going to say, come look at my things. But no, apparently it's a vicious creature.
Really just launching her into, hey, I know you're going through stuff, but let's just push you into a really bad, dangerous situation. And I think it'll be fine. So, yeah.
You're going to make it
Any
a break
questions?
Make
I'll be here. We'll see how it goes. The Weaver is blind, so win-win. But she does have other senses, and they're very deadly. So...
These senses that are deadly.
Well, this is what they say at this point in the chapter. She, basically, Cassian and all that, as you quite rightly said, are like, are you insane? Because if she gets caught, she's going to be lucky that she can be alive. Quite frankly.
Yeah, that would be a great end. Like, you pushed her too far, he said. she broke.
She died. Well done. So, yeah, so in the conversation, what do they call the power? It's a kernel of power.
It makes me think of like popcorn.
Metal detection.
Popcorn kernel. Is that what he means?
She's a metal detector. That's maybe. Yeah.
Fine, whatever. I kind of glossed over this. Basically, they were talking about the Weaver, and I was like, yeah, great. Nobody wants us to go. Chapter 20.
No, you're right. Essentially, that's what happens. And Feyre goes, okay, I'll do it. I accept the challenge. And she's just like, I'm going to ignore my problems and do this dangerous thing. And that's it. And what's this? Offers her family's estate as a neutral meeting place for the 6 immortal queens, which is interesting because I don't think she's really give her family a heads up about that.
No, and also she hasn't talked to them since she didn't even give them an invitation to the wedding. Nesta would have destroyed that wedding in an instant. She didn't need Rhysand.
But Nesta only had the information that Feyre gave her, so I think not, because Nesta said, go and don't look back. So I think she knows if she goes back, Nesta's going to say, what the hell are you doing? Why are you here?
Why are you here? I don't want you here.
Well, yeah, she'll be like, I have this under control. Why are you here? I'm trying to make things better, because I was a dick before. Anyway, so those are the two things happened. Yes, she's going to do the Weaver. She's going to accept that challenge to see if she can metal detect the mystical thing and offer up her family's home as a place for the 6 mortal queens, since that's the two things they need to sort of focus on at the moment.
Yeah. We also have to remember this is the day after seeing the Bone Carver.
Yeah.
So
Also,
just like,
how many days has it been since she was taken back from
so
Moore rescued her from
she
the estate?
rested for 2 days. Then she went and had the dinner party. Then
Mm.
she was going to the prison, had a meltdown, rested. Then went to the
Mm.
prison. So yeah, it's not even a week yet. It'll be coming up to the
Wow.
week when she gets to see the Weaver. And then she's like, oh yeah, it's been a week.
Wow. My God.
Look at all the things I've
Okay.
done, Drummond.
He'll be like, what? We went out? This is insane. If he'd freak out if she said anything about the Weaver. Actually, he would have passed out when she'd said she'd been to the prison.
Yeah, prison,
Yeah.
Weaver. So anyway, we do get to the Weaver's house, and they're in. I'll go back to the little map again, and I think Rhysand is a bit of a dick. He should have given her a warning. So he just like winnows her in. And she's like, "Where are we? What court?" And he's like, "Oh, this is no court. This is under the mountain. Do you remember? Like under the mountain, it's just a little court.
Yeah.
It's a little forest next to it. That's where we are. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a tiny bit on the east, basically.
Don't give her the hands off. Yeah, we're right next to it. Ta-da! Do you remember when you were a prisoner in there and nearly died? Oh wait, you did.
It is kind of bad of him to do that. He couldn't have gave her an area to test this magic anywhere else. No, it
Yeah.
had to be there. Also, when we go to the Boner Carver, you're going to relive that trauma to a scary man.
Yeah, this is the red flag Sir Rhysand now I'm seeing. I'm like, okay, you're really nice and kind, but yeah, you really love trauma, don't you?
He gets off on trauma.
Yeah, he
He's
gets off
done
on
it.
trauma. That's it.
Yeah. That's all he knows. He's like, this is all I know, so I get off on it. So I don't see, just keep working through it by ignoring it and doing scary things. Cool. All right. So we're at chapter 20, which quickly falls into chapter 21. And we're inside an ordinary looking cottage. The Weaver, young, beautiful, sings with a pretty voice, but the words of the song are about murder and death.
It's a bit of a grim song, yes. So she's supposed to be this like
I want
pretty
to
girl.
kill you, rip out your organs, and flay your flesh alive. Like that.
And it's like, God. So she's like got into this house, could hear this blind woman weaving. It's weaving day as well. So she's weaving some wool or whatever it is that she's doing.
Heads up, it's weaving day, girls.
Yeah, it's
Woo!
weaving day. She's off, she's really busy, and then Freya just walks in and she's like, all right, okay, I'm just coming to wander around until I figure something out. And yeah, she sounds terrifying actually. I was okay with the Boner Carver. I don't know why the Boner Carver is the one in prison and this one is not in prison, because this one should be in prison. Like she's like, her thick hair was rich as onyx, her snow white hands feeding and pulling the thread. She looked young, her grey gown simple, but like I had come on spinning day. And it gets worse. Like, worse.
I will say, I think my weaving song sounded better because this one is
grim.
What did he do with her eyes so bright? On his vial he set a first light. What did he do with her tongue so rough? 'Twas the new till and it spoke enough. I'm sorry. I think mine was better. And then she keeps going, saying, oh, yonder is my father, the king, then bespoke the second string. Oh, yonder sits my mother, the queen. And so forth. Yonder is my sister that drowned me.
So yeah, she's wandering around where this grim song is like being sang, and then all of a sudden she hears this thing going, hello, have you come to claim me at last? And you're like, what the fucking hell is that?
Yes, I do remember that, but
So
that's because something beckons her and she knows it's no, but before that happens, isn't that when she finds the object?
no, so she doesn't know what the object is. She can feel like a tap, and this is what it says to her. So she's off trying to find this thing, what's talking to her, and she's like, okay, it's on this shelf. She can feel it, and then she's like finds like a letter knife opener, books, a crown, and then she finds it. It's a ring.
And they're like, come towards me, pick it up. And then she goes, my hand was quiet as a final dying breath as I plucked the ring from the shelf. The Weaver stopped singing.
Oh,
All
yeah.
hell breaks loose.
She knows, like, oh God. Yeah.
Who is in my house?
This is terrifying. Yeah, this is terrifying. And she's like, why has he brought me here just for a ring? What the hell is like so magical about this ring? And
Well, that's what I wanted to know when I was reading. I was like, this ring better be flipping worth it, my friend. Okay.
so she turns around from her like weaving, and it says here, her beautiful hair, her skin was grey, wrinkled and sagging and grey, and where her eyes should have been lay rotting black pits. Her lips were withered, nothing but deep dark lines, and a full hole of jagged stumps of teeth. And I'm like, this is terrifying. And now she's there and she can't get out.
Lady. Well,
Why
what
is this thing not in
happened?
prison?
But also, what happened to that weaver? Maybe she's gone through trauma.
She may have gone through trauma. I don't
She
know.
did
but
say in the song that her sister tried to drown her.
is she the
maybe was
person?
drowned. Maybe that's what's left of her. She was drowned
Huh?
by a sister. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway,
Well,
yeah, no, she peeved at Feyre, so now she's hunting for her. And
terrifying. I was on edge on this chapter. I was like, oh my God.
yeah, I was thinking, resand your dick. You're a total dick right now.
Yeah.
The weaver rose from her little stool, and I knew my borrowed time had run out. What is like all, but unlike all? And she was
What?
like, I was a wolf, and I bit when cornered. And then she lunged for the sole candle burning on the table in the center of the room and hurled it against the wall of woven thread, against all those miserable dark bolts of fabric, woven bodies, skin lives.
Yeah. I was
Ugh.
like, oh, what? So what? She's been weaving skins? Like, that's disgusting. What is going on here? And then,
It's
yeah,
like
she can't
Silence of
get
the
out.
Lambs all over again.
She can't get out to the door. She can't get out through the window. And so she's like trapped there. And
Bang, bang.
stuck.
She's trying to get out. She's trying to get out, forcing herself to stop and think. She remembers that she's a strong survivor, which is really amazing that she is in that headspace at this time. Because I'd be like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I can't forget.
Run.
And then she breaks a brick loose and throws it at the weaver's face.
Yes.
So
Well, this
power
is
to her.
Well, this is before that. She gets out. She gets up the chimney because it's the only way out. So she's
Oh,
climbing this
God.
chimney, isn't she? And she's like getting higher and higher. Then she gets stuck in the chimney, and the weaver's kind of slowly coming up there, trying to grab her foot. She's like, "Oh God!" And yeah, she's thrown a
That
brick.
is terrifying.
That's when she throws the brick into the weaver's face, but she can still get up there, and that's when she starts breaking, using her strength, because she remembers she's actually pretty strong, and she starts breaking the chimney.
That's right. Yeah, she starts smashing it, and that's how she essentially gets out. Thank God.
Yeah, but then it doesn't stop there. She gets onto the roof, and she's like, "Oh, right, I'm on the thatched roof, which was not thatched with hay, but with hair." And I'm like, "What?
And we know
How-
that hair's human. We know it. Well,
Who
Faye.
has the time to do that?"
She's a weaver. That's all she does. She has nothing else to do. She just weaves and sings her songs. She's probably quite lonely.
Yeah. So
She just
yeah,
wanted a hug.
I don't think this girl wants a hug. She's just not. She's just not hating her heart in the right mouth. But yeah, so Feyre is like petrified, and she can't go down because she's on the top of this cottage roof. The weaver's on the bottom going, "Where are you?" Trying to kill her. He's about to kill her, and she's like, right. So she starts climbing up branches of a tree and walking out that way, getting higher and higher along the branches just to escape. And where does she find Rhys? Lounging lounging down, just on a
And
tree
then
stump.
lounging on a branch in a tree before me, one arm draped over the edge, and then he just says, "What the hell did you do? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you actually serious? She's also still coming for me. Hello?"
Yeah, I can hear you. And he's like,
And
"Oh, we
then-
better go."
And then he sits up. She's like, "You." He's like, "You," like I'm hissing at you. And
Yeah.
then that's when he just goes, "Shh," and winnows her back to the House
Yeah.
of Wind.
Terrifying.
And I was just like, you know what I would have done? Bitch slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah. And she's like, gets there, and she's covered with grease and hair of people on her. And she's right there in front of
Oh.
Amren. And she's like, what the hell? And
Yeah, Amren's like, "You
Cassia's
smell
"Oh,
like
Jesus.
you smell like barbecue." It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was in a chimney, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and she gets the ring and she just slams it down. That's what this was about, not just this stupid ring. Like, so he wanted her to also feel like she had survived as well.
No, I
as
know.
well as
And the thing is, he says, like, Cassian's like, oh, what, did you kill her? Like, the Weaver? And then Rhys is like, no. But given how much the Weaver was screaming, I'm dying to know what Feyre darling did. And I'm like, this is not the time to flirt with
no,
me, you
no.
absolute dick. And then poor girl, she vomited all over the floor. Do
I,
you
I like
blame her?
I do like Amryn though, so she's just like clicks her hand and she's like cleans her up, cleans the vomit and cleans the grease and hair off her, and she's like, there you go, whatever. And then
Thank God for Amryn. Thank
she's like,
God for Amryn.
how did you lose this ring? Oh, it's my mother's ring. She gave it to me as a keepsake, and I took it back when I reached maturity, and she gave it to the Weaver. I'm like, well, why do you want it back then? It was not entitled to you.
That's it. It's not yours,
No.
honestly. And it's so funny because Amryn looks at Rhysand and goes, and where were you? Like,
Yeah.
and he's like waiting far enough away that she couldn't detect me. And then that's when Feyre's like, I could have used some help. And then he says,
Yeah.
you survived
I know.
and found a way to help yourself. And I'm like,
That's a really bad way of
wow.
trying to get her to, like, fend for herself. It's like a harsh. I know they're supposed to be Illyrians and, like, in the harsh winters and train, but yeah, come on, don't kind of evoke
Yeah,
your
'cause
trauma on her.
even knowing the feeling of how she felt when she first met Amryn, that she's obviously a very dangerous, dark, dangerous person. Even Amryn says brutal, effective, as in what Feyre did. It's a brutal
Yeah.
way of doing it, but it's effective. But even she said it was brutal. Rhys
was pretty
is the
brutal.
total. I think Rhys needs to. Yeah, that was a dick move, Rhys.
This
Dick
was
move.
scarier than the prison. I didn't find the prison
Oh,
that
this was-
scary. This was
No,
like,
this-
"Ah!"
And then even Cassian says quietly, "You're a prick, Rhysand."
He
So
is.
I'm like, yes, Cassian, preach. He is a total dick. I like Cassian immediately for that.
Yeah.
And she says to Cassian, that she wants to be taught how to fight. To
Yeah, after
strengthen
all
herself.
that,
Like,
yeah, you
I
kind of
mean,
need.
yeah, because
you're gonna
clearly
be a
she ain't getting
nuisance
any help.
president.
No, she ain't getting any help for him. And even like Cassian is like, you'd be calling me a prick every day. And he's like, because we train damn fast and I don't know anything about training humans and how breakable your bodies are. But we'll figure it out. So he's willing to.
She's not
willing
human
to-
anymore.
Well, I guess in her head she's human, but her body isn't. So I don't know how that works. But I would assume no, her body's not breakable.
Yeah. But so anyway, this chapter was kind of like quite long because she goes through that and she just wants to go home, take a bath as you would after a whole that ordeal, and then Rhysand kind of follows her home. You're talking about trying to get past my shields. She doesn't want. She's like, go freaking away after
Are
all
you
that.
kidding? Give me a beat. I just went through the most traumatic Weaver experience ever.
And he says, I'm surprised Ianthe didn't carve you up on an altar to get the power that looks like inside you. And she's like, she just cracks. She's like, what do you have with Ianthe? What's wrong with her? And he's like, she was among the worst of them, the priestess. And she's like, why would you say that? And he's just trying to trick her. It's like, get past my shields and I'll show you. And she's like, no. And then she does. She goes and sees, like, there's a bit in here where
That's
she
right.
goes through Rhysand's shields and he shows her. It's like that bit in Harry Potter where they put the thing in, like, what is it? The thing. And
Legitimate. Yeah. Like go into the mind.
And so she's seeing like a kind of memory of Rhysand's with Ianthe.
Yeah.
And she's naked. She's naked on his bed.
She's trying to get with Rhysand.
Yeah, have his babies. She wants his heir.
Ew.
You're like, what? Why do you
Girl,
think?
It's not happening. No.
No. And I remember in the spring court when they said like Lucian was like trying to get away from her. She's like, she's really been trying to get with the High Lord. She's like trying it on with all of them. I don't know why.
Yeah. She's like a gold digger, essentially. And Tamlin can't even see it because he's so stupid.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There was this TikTok I was watching today and I thought it was so on point. I commented on it. And it was a picture, an AI version of Tamlin. And it had one of the comedians, I forget his name, but it was a still image of him. And then, you know how they kind of clip on top of them. And it was a comedian going, well, now I get it. Yeah, now I get it. Like, he's a dick. Now I understand Tamlin's not a good guy.
I need to
Understood.
see this. Okay, we need to share
I'll
it.
send it to you. So, yeah, so she goes into his mind. He shows her a memory of Rhysand and the relationship he has with the Yanthe, and the fact that she's just whoring herself out, wanting to manipulate him for her babies and get higher
Yeah.
up the food chain of hierarchy, lordship. And he's like, no, bugger off, get
No.
away from me.
Yeah, get away from me. She don't have his advances, and she's
Mm.
really trying to get around him. And then he snapped her arm. He breaks her arm and throws her out in the corridor with her closed. He's like, yeah, nah. And I'm like, jeez.
I don't blame him because he gave her no, and she kept saying, I'm still here. And it was, if she's not going to accept a verbal refusal, break her arm. Say, don't mess. Okay,
So
cut
I
that
was
right
like,
down.
ooh. Right, so she's trying on with every Harry Lord, really, and to try to get some kind of. There's something else there though, like that he's not saying, because I feel like that's not just a reason to do that, but there must be something else going on there. But I'm guessing we're gonna.
I completely agree with that. And then I guess the only thing that happens in that chapter is like Rhysand tells Feyre there's two rules for going into someone's noggin is to hold the way open so they don't get trapped in someone's mind.
You don't want to get trapped in there.
Be prepared to see things you don't like, which is fair, because you might not be happy. You'd be like, this person's so innocent. Oh my God, they're not.
No, they're not. Oh God, I didn't need to see that.
So chapter 22 now.
Yes, so to 22 is when she's having a chat with Moore about the Mortal Court, and because she's getting ready to go and see her sisters, ask them politely if she can have their space or house to meet the Mortal Queens, which, let's see. So she's getting dressed, but then we hear the story from Moore about her trauma story. So we're getting it all here.
We're getting the trauma. This is helpful because I think this is where the trauma bonding comes in. If you're going through trauma yourself, it's almost nice hearing someone else's trauma and you go, it's not just me. They're just as messed up as I am. Yay!
Yeah, she was just like, I was born stronger than anyone in my family. So she's from the Court of Nightmares, which is Hewn City, which is the only city that people know of the Night Court, and the one that Amarantha based her court on. So it's an evil place. That's where Moore's family and she is from. And she said she was the strongest in her family, even the males, and she couldn't hide it. They could smell it. And when she was 12, then it all comes out that they try and palm her off to like the highest bidder when she starts her period, and then so she was hoping she didn't, but then she got to 12 and it happened. And it means that she had to be sometimes like her cousins in Lovelace, sometimes brutal marriages.
I mean,
she started getting her period when she was 17, and then that's when it all kind of came crashing down.
That's quite late. That's quite late.
So she must have been like really trying not to have it, and then they saw this power, wanted to breed it into their bloodlines over and over. My family were beside themselves with glee, but I got out, and then she's not said very much else.
Well,
how did she get out?
Yes, well, obviously Rhysand must have something to do with that, or perhaps Cassian or Azriel, somebody in the inner circle, must have helped her get the hell away from them. Because, but also, didn't Rhysand say that was his cousin? So there must be some relation there. But yes, you're right that she's said, strategically trying to marry off, and then she got out. But she does say that Rhysand and Cassian have protected her, which maybe it was both of them. We don't know all the details. And then Feyre apologizes for her own lack of warmth when they first met. But to be fair to Feyre, you were living in the Spring Court and you were traumatized. Give yourself a little bit of a break.
Exactly.
She says she realizes her words don't convey how ruined she has become. Still processing, poor girl. And then Moore tells her, trying to not let the hard days when you'll get through them, and moral support there,
Yeah, and I feel like when someone says that to you, I'm like, what exactly has happened in their lives? That's something.
Yeah, because you start measuring, I'm thinking what I've gone through is really bad. And then they say something and you go, oh, well, that's kind of close. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they've gone through their own traumas and stuff. So I'm like, oh, right, okay, what has actually happened to poor Moore?
But so that's really interesting. And then we sort of end the chapter with Cassian and Rhysand and Azriel going with Vera to the human lands,
Yeah,
to
it's
her
the
home.
4 of them going because Moore doesn't want to go. She's kind of wary of the queens. So I was like, oh, what's happened there?
Maybe there's
But
history there. I don't know.
yeah, so I was like, okay, so the 4 of them again, they go off to the sea because there's apparently a hole where they could get through the wall, through that way. And she sees
Yes.
the spring caught lands, and she's wondering about Tamlin because this is just after over a week now. She
What
was
do
there.
we think Tamlin is up to at this point?
I literally think he's a bit of a wino. So I know he's trashed the place. He's probably been really upset for the first couple of days. He's been a wino. He's trashed the place. He's been really mean to everybody. He probably hit Lucian in the face, made everybody go away. And then he's got his shit together and was like, right, I'm going to go get her back now. And he's trying to come up with a plan to get her back.
Yeah, I definitely think he's sent guards out all over the place to find her. But easily the reason he hasn't found her is he doesn't know Valaris exists.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just knows that there's the night court. He knows that and also, in his defense, he doesn't know that she's safe. So she could be tortured. He doesn't know that. She hasn't sent him, hiya. I know they don't have phones, but hiya, I'm okay.
No, you're right. He doesn't know. Yeah, he knows nothing. Which, yes, this is very true. He doesn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, oopsie, just not coming up, she's just like, yeah, I'll
She's
get my
still not
distance.
dealing with her problems. Yeah, she's still trying to ignore it.
Hide, put her head in the sand.
Put her head in the sand. That is what she's doing.
So, yeah, they get through this hole in the wall. She sees the spring court and she's like, okay. And then she feels the difference in the wall. It's like a tang, like a really loud noise in the wall, but only
because she's a fairy now. She can feel
only
it.
Faye could hear it, but she didn't hear it when she was a human, which was weird. So they get to the mortal court, the human lads, and
Ding dong, what's for dinner?
Yeah, she's like, I think it's better if I turn up alone. So they do a glamour shit and stay outside, which is good. I think that was the best thing. To be honest as well, the way she's dressed, I don't know if that was right. She's trying to say I'm going to come here and get my sisters and try and look as mortal as I can. She turns up with a crown.
Yeah, and a hood, and then unveils the hood with a crown. What?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I will. That was whoever made that decision was a dumbass. Just would you have worn that before?
Under the radar. It's this is not under the radar. This is okay. Very much over. This is very much, hi, I'm a fae. Surprise. And she gets that as soon as she opens the door to the housemaid who's like, what the?
Yeah, she's like, are we, oh, sorry, it's you. Oh my God, your dad's out, but your sisters are here. Let me go and call them. Why do you look this way? Oh my God, ew. And yeah. And then I guess Elaine and Nesta make her acquaintance as fae form.
Elaine is very happy and she's happy to see her sister, although she knows
always is. Come on.
There's something issue about Nesta's just on the staircase.
That's the thing,
and
is
looking
we love
at her,
it.
giving her a look.
But that's what I mean. You already know going into it, Elaine's going to be like, oh my God, it's you.
Yeah.
And you already know Nesta's going to be like, what?
Exactly.
What is going on here? What are you up to? No, don't think so. And it's so funny to where Nesta stood, a hand braced on the rail, staring as if I were a ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted you to go. She didn't know if you were coming back. And so they're having tea. Elaine's actually doing most of the talking, and Nesta's just looking at her and standing in between her, defending Elaine because she knows that Freya's now a fae. Yeah, she just wants her to listen, and she doesn't want any of her crap, and tells her the plan about she wants to have this, that there's something going on around the wall. There's a wall coming, and she needs this space to invite the queens to talk about the King of Highburn. And they know already that there's an issue. Their dad has gone to talk about the something about the war. Something about the war. Something about the wall and the threat. Oh yes, yeah. Elena's betrothed to a family who hate Faye and have built giant prison walls and given her an iron engagement ring. And you're like, okay, they hunt them down. And I'm like, how do you hunt Faye down? Like, how many people have these people hunted down?
Well, the question is, what's been going on, right, in the mortal world? Have any come through the wall? And maybe they're just defending, but then maybe they got, I don't know. There's such hatred. I mean, Feyre hated them at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's so funny because immediately Nesta's like, there will be no meeting and there will be no Fays in this house. And I'm like, there's a bitch right in front of you. It's me. I'm a Fae now. So, sorry, I'm in your house.
She just does not want. She gives her the silent treatment. Then she just looks at her back and, there is no way. We don't have. And she's like, no, we'll have to send the servants home. Which, Elaine's the one that comes up and says, no, we'll send the servants home. We'll help out. You did everything you could, to help us during those hard months when we had nothing. And that's what bends Nesta's eyes. But they're not. Sorry, that's what bends Nesta's kind of will. And she's like, fine, okay, I'll let you have this. But so Elaine goes off to talk to the servants to get them to go, and she talks and says, is he a nice guy, the Lord's son she's going to marry? And she's like, yeah, his father built a wall of stone around their estate so high even the trees can't reach it. It looks like a prison. So you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that might be because they really are freaked out that Fays are really going to come for them.
And then
so they
she talks up to Freya, just as the nest away. She's like, your high lord, you went through all that. She waved a hand at me, and it still didn't go well.
I love
no
it.
Sympathy.
And no, she's just straight out, oh, so that's it. That's that. You went through all that, and that's it.
And it did end well. Great, good for you then. So awesome. And then she's like, right, okay then. Do you want to meet? I'm in a new court now. Do you want to meet them? And that's how this chapter ends.
That's right. And then obviously the next chapter I'm sure Rhys, Asriel and Cassian will be like, "Ring, we've been here the whole time. You just couldn't see it."
Surprise! And
Surprise!
Nesta will have something to say.
And she'll be like, you disgust me. Yeah, Nesta's gonna have lots to say. She's gonna be, you disgust me. I hate you. Filthy whores. Blah, blah, blah. So, but yes, a good place to stop, that they are now here awaiting further discussion about having this as a place to receive the 6 mortal queens.
But from the start of where we started in chapter 30 to this, I think maybe 8 days have passed.
And so much has happened.
So much trauma has happened.
Trauma, lots of trauma. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? This poor girl. She was like, I know you're trying to get her out of her head to do things, but there is medium, not high risk. Come on.
The Weaver.
That was terrifying. That would kill. That, I would have trauma for years after that. Something was chasing me.
She's like, nobody leaves.
No.
Yeah.
So poor Freya. I don't know if she seems okay now. Maybe she just
I think she's just
trauma.
she's not dealing with it. She's not accepting it. She's pushing everything and just going, what are we doing? I don't even think, even at this point, that she actually cares about the 6 mortal queen meeting or anything. She wants to make sure that everyone's safe and that this war doesn't happen. But she hasn't really asked enough questions to go,
she hasn't.
How has this war happened? Who, King Hybern, how are you so sure it's here? What's your evidence for me to really back you on this? She's just accepted it because it's something to do.
Exactly. I think, I believe that she's just let me go with it. You're like, you should really be asking questions like, why am I a metal detector? Okay, why do you want to be I'm just going to give what's going on with the mortal realm here. Can we talk a bit more about Hybern and why they hate mortals so much? What's the history there? Anything?
No. But at this point in the book, how are you enjoying it as a comparison to the last book?
Oh yeah, this is definitely way better, and it's gotten better, and it's kept up momentum. So I hope it still keeps up momentum with this. It's what's going to happen? I don't know about the whole Rhysand thing. Like, how is she going to, like, Rhysand Tamlin thing? Like, how is she going to go back to Tamlin and say, like, is she going to go back to Tamlin and say, you know, I'm my own person. These are my boundaries. You can love me if you want, but that's it. I don't know how that romance, or is that romance dead in the water? And then
Well,
Rhysand's flirting with her, but he is kind of a bit of a dick at the same time. So I don't want her to get into her. She is going to be. I don't think she should be in a relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think
no,
she should be in a relationship.
right now she is not. She should not be in a relationship right now. She needs to get
No.
herself healthy, her mind healthy. But the one thing I will say is it's actually nice to have these extra characters like Cassian, because him just calling him a prick, sorry, because he didn't really
Yeah.
help her with the Weaver, sort of cements that he has people around him keeping him in check and going, what are you doing?
Yeah. What are
And
you
even
doing?
having more, because we did say in the last episodes when we were going through A Court of Thorn and Roses, she needs more female friends, and we now have
She did,
more.
yeah.
And we have Amarin, although we don't know what sort of species she may or
Yeah.
may not have been in the past, but she has females there now.
She
So
only had
that's
Alice
helpful.
in the last book, and it was a bit like her. It was her, Tamlin, Lucian, and sometimes Alice would come in. Those were her. That was it. And
That
I
was
was like,
it.
her family abandoned her. So I was like, oh god. So yeah, now it seems a bit more like, oh, I've got, you know, like some people that I can have chats to and realize,
Right?
you know, brainstorm with. Is this a good idea? No.
No, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you there. I hope that, okay, what I will ask is, in terms of Feyre, do we prefer her more in this book?
Turning now, I am. Like, at the start of this book, I did not like Freya. I wanted to. I know she's going through trauma, and obviously, yes. But like in the book, when you're trying to read it, and you're like, come on, come on. Like, she was just getting weaker and weaker, and now she's sort of finding herself again, but she's not where she was at the end of the first book. I liked Freya at the end of the first book, where she was like, I'm battling this war, I'm doing this, I'm gonna do it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
She had strength, whereas it completely depleted, because you start this book thinking, la la la, it's all going to be happy days, and it isn't, which I
yeah.
found quite refreshing. What is your thoughts of Tamlin at this point in the story compared to the previous book?
I think he's still the same person. I
Really?
think
You
he's
don't think
still.
he's worse?
Well, no, because at the moment, so he is very overprotected of her. Yeah, I think the protection kind of thing. He's really doesn't want to lose her and get her neck split open again or whatever.
Mm,
But I do get on his defense about, you know, she's just gone. Like, he thinks that he's going trying to save her. She might have been tortured. He doesn't like this guy. He says he's the worst High Lord of the whole court. He's got no
okay.
idea where she is. But he is
Fair.
he's not a good person to be in a relationship with.
No.
So I do feel like, you know, you should just break, like, Freya needs to go back to Spring Court and go, this isn't working. I don't think we should be together anymore. Let's stay friends, maybe. Bye.
But
And
do
then,
you think if she went back to the Spring Court and said, "Hey Tamlin, blah blah blah, here's all my thoughts," that he would accept that?
no, he'd probably be like, no. And she'd have to use her powers to be like, nah, back off. But she shouldn't go back to the Night Court. She should go to like the Mortal, like stay with her fam for a week, 1 week, because time passes
In the
really
club,
fast here.
we all
Yeah,
fam.
fast. Let him get over it and then go to the Night Court and meet her new besties. Do not get in a relationship with this Rhysand guy, because no, don't do that. Just meet with more, go out with some girly drinks, and that's what you should do. That's what her plan should be. But you know she's not going to do that. She's going to like, oh, I'm
Well,
going to
I would
throw
say
myself into danger.
Well, I would say at this point she needs to just focus on who she is and and I would say, as a reader at this point in the story, I'm with you. I'm thinking she doesn't need any men, no relationships. What she needs is to be
Yes.
healthy. She needs to discover who she is as a person, now as a high face, and what powers does she have? Can she physically strengthen herself? And she needs to be independent. She needs to be an independent
Yes.
woman, and then she can decide, I'm gonna bang him or no, and then go from there.
Yeah.
But until she reaches that point, she ain't healthy.
No, she doesn't need to be in a relationship right now, but she does need to go back to Tamlin and say, like, we're, you know, we're never getting back together again.
So I guess that's us wrapped up this section of the book.
Yeah.
But next week we'll be back talking more about A Court of Mist and Fury while I get attacked by my bookmark. Sorry. And what chapters are we going to do next, Linda?
So we got to the end of chapter 24. So we're going to be reading.
I ask you which chapters because I know you're going to go, still quite a lot to get through.
No,
I
always do 100 pages. We're at 24 to 37.
Oh, I think you can do a bit more than that. Come on.
What?
You can get to do
Fine,
one
38.
more. Yeah, there you go.
38. Why, did something happen on that chapter?
I'm just thinking you can get through a bit more than that. Okay, so chapters
24 to 38.
Fabulous.
Well, 37 is the last one. So we stop and we start on 38 for next time.
No. We read 38.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we read 38. That's not. You read more. You read more in this chapter.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. 24 to 38 then.
There we go. Chapter 24 to 38. Great. Good.
24 to 38. Okay. We'll find out what she's met.
Okay.
She's going to be a metal detector for a book or something. And
Yes.
we'll meet these queens. I don't know if we will. Hopefully we do. And maybe we'll go in for a visit to the summer court. It depends if they answer our letter. I don't know.
That's right. They're still waiting
Maybe
for
there'll be
that
some more
letter.
creatures.
And will they find the cauldron and the book?
Oh, yes. The book. We'll have to find out. Will there be any more creatures? Will there be even more weavers? Is it a clan? I don't know.
Well, that's good. At least we've discovered one creature so far, and that's the Weaver, who was absolutely
and the Bone Carver.
terrifying.
And the Bone Carver.
Yeah. It's just because they were in prison. So, I mean, out and about.
Out and about. Okay.
Out and about creatures was the Weaver, but yes, the Bone Carver as well. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to comment about anything we've said, please feel free to do so. We will not be offended. We are just reading the book as we feel is appropriate. And we're probably butchering so many words, pronunciations. But hey, what the hell?
We'll see you next Tuesday for the 3rd episode of A Court of Mist and Fury. Join us next Tuesday when we're going to do the 3rd episode of A Court of Mist and Fury and find out how Feyre is doing, if she's going to get back to her former self, and what is going to happen. Do we hear from Tamlin again? Just join us next week to find out.
Who knows?
You might already know, so let's just see. But
I don't. I can't remember.
But yeah, so that's all we have time for. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok, Instagram to find out what has been going on. And also you can listen along to the next episode and previous episodes on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and have I missed anything else?
No, just wherever you listen to your podcast, it should be there as well for you.
Great. Without further ado, see you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.